Hello, people. I just got finished recording my Mike Manzi analysis. I've been really busy. I had to make like a hole in my schedule to finish that. I got a couple of things to say. Some people said the sound didn't work. My voice works, but not the background sound. That was actually on purpose. I think most people are gonna watch the episode before, and I don't like double capture, meaning capturing the sound of the background and my voice. Uh, I don't like. You need a specialized program to do that, and I might get it, but I think that just having the voice, like the sound in your head, the sound of the show in your head instead of hearing it, I think it gives a different perspective. That's why I decided to make it like that. I think most people are gonna remember what was said anyway. By the way, don't worry. I eventually get the T-shirt. Late in my analysis, I get the T-shirt. I guess I just wanted to say about this guy. He's a fascinating character. I talk at length at how he's a good tutor, how he's an underachiever. He is a fascinating person to study, I must admit. He's an underachiever. He's a pretty smart guy. I hate to say this, but I do mention it later on that he's a master at communication. He's a master at. I mean, look at his face. Look at his face, okay? And I do mention that he's a tutor. How do we get students to listen to him? Okay, he looks effeminate and not in a good way. I'm not sure you can get. I'm not sure you can get. Yeah, I'm not sure you can look feminized in a good way. But let's admit that you've been a kid. I've been a kid. If you had a teacher like that, you would expect the teacher to get bullied. You would expect the teacher to get like people messing up in class, unruly. You would expect the kid to be unruly. I know he's a tutor, but he's a tutor at a private college, some kind of prestigious college. So you would expect, and usually it's worse. Like the private college, it's even the private high school. Sorry, it's even worse, and then the public high school, because you have a bunch of entitled assholes. But no, I say about him like I expect him to get bullied, but after watching this show, I guess he really impressed me. He really impressed me up to a point that I can't really make fun of him anymore. And I'm a bit disappointed that I can't make fun of him, but I'm also a bit happy because I think it's really the first time, or one of the first time, that a Predator really impresses me. The guy, yeah, he's an asshole, but he's a master manipulator. That guy, he's mastered the art of using his handicap, and by handicap I mean his face, against people. He's very, very good at it, and I think he's one of the top. Well, I think he was one of the top teachers at that place, or top tutor at that high school. And I say I'm happy that I finally meet a Predator that is like different. I would say he's different from the rest. I can't even make jokes about Mr. Burns anymore because I don't know, man. The guy, he's quick-witted. He's a fast and he's a good planner, and he's one of the few that guesses what's gonna happen. And he's a bit like, and it's also the fact that I don't think he was there to commit a crime. I mean, showing up talking about weed, definitely inappropriate. But is he a predator? Is he a predator? I don't think he is. Okay? I don't know why. You might say, yeah, the guy's a tutor. He should know better than go with a 13-year-old girl home alone. And yeah, you would be right. There's something wrong with him. But is he a predator? I don't think he is. I don't think. Was he gonna smoke and molest that young girl? Maybe. I'll give it a maybe for now. I'm not decided yet, but yeah, what he says is pretty weird. I think if you show up to see a kid home alone and you don't have no relationship with that kid, like it's not your neighbor, it's not your niece. Okay, niece is a bad example because of Lauren Armstrong, but I think if you show up to a kid home alone, sexual chat or not, it's definitely inappropriate. But is it a crime? Is it a crime? Maybe he really was just there to help her with her math. Maybe he's like that. And I think he handles the bust. I think he handles the bust, like 80% of the bust, pretty well. It's only at the end that he turns into like, that part is fucking funny. Like, please, I can't afford to get arrested. Like, I wish arrests were like that. Like when the police wants to arrest you, like they bring a calculator and they're like, okay, what's your net income, sir? Why? We want to calculate if you can afford to be arrested. I guess what I want to say, maybe a professional would say that he's simply more careful about it. He's a teacher. He knows how the police investigate sexual abuse. So maybe that's why he's a bit more careful. He's gonna get her high, but then again, he had no weed on him. Maybe he was gonna come back a second time with weed. Maybe, you don't know. But I think maybe he's just a very, very careful predator, and he spins his game. He talks well. And he has that approach that he has a kind of magnetism. He has a kind of presence. He's a bit like the kind of ugly guy at the club that somehow gets a chicks like at the end of the night. You know what I mean? He's not ugly. He's weird. Like he looks weird. He looks messy, but somehow he managed to use it to his advantage. So if you're short or if you're ugly, look at this video. Well, not the part about grooming kids, but the part when he talks to Chris. Look at that. This is how you should act. And I'm telling you, I think this guy was one of the most respected teachers at the school. I think he really earned his student respect. When he goes and he tells Chris, for example, like he raises his hand, like, sir, are you going to answer me or keep reading? It shows that he won't be bullied around. He won't let Chris Hansen ignore him and just play like the Chris Hansen game of asking questions. And this guy, I really, really, really hope we get the full footage. I have a great feeling that if he had not accepted the plea deal, I mean, he should have gone to trial. I think he would have gotten acquitted. I don't think there's enough evidence to convict him of anything wrong. Yeah, he does talk about weed a little bit, but that's it, He had no condom, he had no sexual chat, didn't send pictures of himself naked or pornography, didn't cyber the kid. He made a remark with yoga that's inappropriate, but it's like lightly. It's not enough for a crime. I'm a bit sad that he got convicted, actually, because I think it's kind of unfair. I think the plea deal system is broken in the U.S. My guess is that the prosecutor threatened him, like, you take the plea deal, you get probation. If you don't, we're gonna go to trial, and you're gonna be risking up to 10 years in jail and lifetime as a sex offender. And I think he got scared, like, I don't want to be a sex offender. I'll never work as a tutor again if I'm a sex offender. So that's why he took the plea deal. But that's not how it should work, because I genuinely think that he did nothing wrong at all. Inappropriate, but not necessarily wrong. You might disagree with me, and maybe one day I'll side with you. Maybe one day I'll listen to this and say, no, this guy is just a careful predator, He was preparing the terrain. Maybe he's saying like, okay, this one day I'm just going to go and chill out, and the next day when I know it's not a trap, or the next week I'm going to go back and rape her. That is possible too. I mean, again, it's inappropriate for him to show up with a 13-year-old girl he doesn't know home alone. It's a really entertaining bust, nevertheless. You see Rob Knight intervene the second time in the show after David Kay. And I don't know, I really like this guy. I really like the bust when he's arguing with the police, like, don't arrest me. I mean, maybe he's just, like I said, he's an excellent manipulator, that guy. And there's definitely something wrong with him. Is he evil? Perhaps. Maybe he's just, as I said, maybe he's just a very careful predator. But in that case, I would tend to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think, I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe there's more evidence we don't see too. But anyway, I really like this guy, Bust. Very entertaining. It's one of the few guys I felt a little bit bad for. It's funny, but it's also a bit pathetic in this at the same time. So that's what I wanted to say. Very, very happy I recorded this Bust. I really want to see the new Jeff Stacy Bust in Hansen vs. Predator. That guy, so far, he's the guy that surprised me the most. In Hansen vs. Predator, I was really not impressed. Well, I was impressed by how charismatic he was. Not necessarily charismatic, but just this guy has it. Okay, and yeah, it's a bit pathetic how he wears a T-shirt like MIT, I'm a genius, and he went to a local college. Not that there's anything wrong with that. He's a guy that visibly his life went off track and he never recovered. But that happens, it's life. I mean, the smartest guy I knew He was a genius, even more of a genius than me. I know it's hard to believe, but the smartest guy I knew, I met him in college. Well, actually, it's high school for you American. It's the pre-senior year. I think it's the sophomore year in the like, freshman, junior. I don't know, man. The third year of high school, I met a really smart guy. And he was he had like 99% in everything. And every time he made a mistake, he was pissed off. And I remember from him, to be very short, we had like a chemistry class together. And there was an experience, and I hated those because they made no sense to me. You know, it's like a chemistry experiment. It's like 10 hours of writing a useless report, like for something silly, and one minute of running an experiment. And you got a mistake once because of the teacher said that one of his in the tab, like the space at the beginning of a paragraph, the teacher said that he put too many spaces, and he managed to prove like with I don't even know what he did. Like he did like some kind of study of space, and he did like a graph, and he showed no, my indentation of the paragraph follows the norms. And the teacher gave him like this 1 point back, and he got like a 99 instead of 98. And yeah, he was that kind of guy. So that guy, he was the smartest guy I ever know. In the junior year, the pre-senior year, I just forgot, he actually took some very bad drug, and he never recovered. He sniffed some kind of industrial solvent, I think. We're not even sure what he took. But he went to a party in one of the less recommendable places of Montreal, and it burned his brain, and he had, I don't know if it burned his brain, but he had a psychosis, a full-blown psychosis, up to a point that he tried to remove his eye. When he came to the hospital, his eye was shut closed and bleeding, and he was delirious. He was like crazy about a centipede in his eye, and he had to remove the centipede. So yeah, he had a full-blown psychosis, and he never recovered at all. And I saw him actually like a month ago, actually 3 weeks ago, and he's not there mentally. So it happens that you screw your life. This guy, before that, I think he could have. I think he could have. Perhaps not MIT, but a bit under that. Definitely a strong math college. Definitely one of the, not Ivy League. Well, he could have made Ivy League with a lot of money, but he doesn't have a lot of money. He could have made one of the best non-Ivy college in the U.S. And in math, he could have get a master's, and he could have taught at college level easily. This guy could have been a college teacher easily. He became a high school teacher. He only got a bachelor's in math, which is nothing, as I say in the video. My little sister can get a bachelor's in math. But he's an underachiever. And watching that video made me realize that even though he's an underachiever, he threw the little he had left away. Like, he pled guilty. He's not a sex offender. But let's face it, he's never going to work in education again. Again, I don't want to say, because I feel he's manipulating me, okay? Because he's a good, smooth, intelligent, charming talker. He's charming, despite looking like a Mr. Burns on drug. But if I was the principal of a high school, I wish I could hire him. I wish I could. He's going to be good. And this guy is not going to mess up from now on. He has no room for mistake. If there's only like a slightest hint of a student accusing him, like any student in your class says, hey, that guy made sexual advance towards me, you have to believe the student, So you cannot get hired in the education ever again. He's going to be working like odd jobs, like Lon Armstrong. And that I don't think is fair, because I don't think he did something as bad as Lon Armstrong. But then again, you might argue that he's just a bit more subtle, He's a bit more smart. Maybe he was a careful predator. Maybe. I would say again, showing up to meet a kid all alone that you don't know, a kid you don't know, after you talk about weed, it's definitely inappropriate. Did he deserve all that? My gut feeling says no. Maybe he did. Maybe, as I said, I'm wrong. Maybe he's just a smart, good predator. Maybe he's like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson fooled a lot of people for very long. Many people thought he was innocent long after he died. So, and Michael Jackson, that's how I would describe him. He's a bit of a smarter Michael Jackson. A bit like, you know, I feel maybe if we did a comparison between him and Michael Jackson, they have a lot in common. They both look freaky, you know, but maybe he's just a good talker. Maybe he's just a good manipulator, and I'm getting fooled. He's really good. As I said, in his high school, I don't think any student made fun of him. He's just good. He projects an aura of confidence and intelligence. And he has a way to put emphasis in his voice and emotion, and you really believe him for some reason. I mean, his role worked on me. I think it worked. If you watch the interview with Chris, I think it worked with more people. But then again, he has no sexual chat, so we can't really like laugh at it. All this to say, definitely one of the limit case of To Catch a Predator. I really think if I was like a judge, I would have refused the plea deal, because I think this one should go to trial. It's not a clear-cut case, and I think to determine exactly what he did, I think a trial would be necessary. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'm leaving you on that.